Let's see what we got here. I guess we clocked in. Hey, let me make sure. Hold up. Sounds good first, nigga. Shit. What's going on, party people? Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. It's definitely a pleasure to have you here. I go by the name of Leslie. I am a spiritual healer. And essentially, as a spiritual healer, what I do pretty much is that I help people to become mentally and emotionally balanced. Now, if we're talking about being emotionally balanced, for the most part, what I'm truly talking about here, it's not, it's definitely not, let's just say, not raising your voice or to control your emotions, although that may be part of it as well. But what I'm truly talking about here is for you to understand how your emotions work, how your emotions are being created, for you to identify or even to create your own emotional pattern, because to balance anything, or is to master your emotion, is to make it yours. But for you to make it yours, you have to understand how it works, identify your emotional pattern, and eventually, let's just say if there's any type of emotional blockages, then at that point you'll be able to either transmute it or change it or to remove those blockages. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to when we're talking about being emotionally balanced. It's you being in control of your emotions, but also you have to understand the underlying work that it takes and understanding for you to actually, manage your emotions. Now, in addition to that, I also help you to become mentally balanced. Now, when we're talking about being mentally balanced here, it's understand the same thing applies. How is your mind is being shaped? How is your mind is being controlled? In fact, when we're talking about mind control, what you're truly talking about is how you've been trained to think. When we talk about society, when we're talking about, let's just say, the school system, whatever the fuck, there's a certain way you've been trained to think. That's truly what mind control is. But there's two things about mind control. You can either your mind is being controlled in a way that sets you free, or it could be done in a way that enslaves you. Generally speaking, when most people are talking about mind control, they talking about the latter, meaning they're talking about the second thing that I just mentioned, which is, you under mind control, what I'm saying, you're not thinking for yourself. But the true mind control is actually, comes from our fucking ancestors. We understood how our mind works. That's why we created mythology. Because you also got to keep in mind, especially in African spirituality, right? It's an old tradition, meaning it's a tradition that was passed down from word of mouth. And the story didn't change, never changed, remained the same. I mean, you gotta have, I mean, think about it. If any of you have ever taken any psychology class, right? If you went to college, right? They'll tell you, I can't recall, but they'll tell you some shit like it's five. Let's just say there's an accident and there's 10 people here. Every single one of these people will tell you the story from how they see it. I mean, which is okay. It's okay. But our ancestors understood that. We knew how to bypass that. That's why the story never changed. Another example of that, like when you're learning about your ABCs, that is a form of mind control, even though you may not remember it, but you know how to trigger it in you. And that's what memory is all about. Because there's no knowledge without memories, right? Because you got to remember, you got to know what you're talking about. So true mind control, again, is truly to set you free. But anyway, that's a whole different conversation. In other words, when I talk about being mentally balanced, nigga, I help you to become in control of your mind. or to use mind control in a way to set you free. Now, if we're going back to, let's just say, learning your ABCs, you may not remember, let's just say hypothetically, you don't remember what came after L. Then you could start singing. There's a harmony. That's why rhyme and reason, all of these things, well, not reason, but rhyme is also very important. So we use that as an association, not just for memory, but also mind control. 'Cause your memory is part of your mind control, nigga. What the fuck? You feel me? But also, in addition of that, too, the part of, for you to identify how you're being trained to think, that's why you have to understand your culture. So I help you to, what I'm saying, again, without me delving too, I mean, not going too far ahead of myself here. That's why spirituality is your fucking humanity. Because everything that you'll be learning, or if you don't want to call it that, it's your spiritual battlefield or playground. And this is also to show you that humanity is not what it seems. But we're gonna get into that later, though. I'm getting, oh shit, nigga. I'm getting way ahead of myself here. So essentially, that's pretty much what I do. So for you to become mentally balanced, that's why it's important for you to understand about culture. You know what I'm saying? How your mind is being. You know what I'm saying? Everything. It's to be more aware of what's around you, your environment, and ultimately that's what consciousness is all about too. And becoming spiritual again, without me going too far ahead of myself, but it's all connected. What you're truly doing is that you're delving more into yourself, into this reality. You're learning how to look beyond the veil. That's why in spirituality, there's something called the occult. Now, that is dealing, which is, the type of sacred knowledge that is dealing with, let's just say, that non visible aspect of you. Then we realize, oh shit, there is more to us. That's why this occultist or the occult will let the basic knowledge, such as you have a conscious mind, you have a fucking subconscious mind. But all of that is meant for you to go beyond what you're looking at. That's why it's called a hidden culture. Not hidden in a way it's being kept away from you, but it's hidden in meaning you have to look for it. You got to go in. You got to go inward. You got to look for this type of knowledge. It's not a surface knowledge. And that's exactly what we do. Then we say mathematics, geometry, nature represent all that shit. You delving more, baby. Keep going. You ain't doing nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? You're just having a deeper understanding of your reality, which is the reality that we walk, like the same fucking reality that you in, I'm in, nigga. Now we're just talking about level of consciousness. And in so many words, that's what being spiritual is all about. When you become spiritual, it's when you activate, that side of you. Now you recognize it's more than dick and pussy to your life. Then I need a good energy, positivity, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I got you. I get it. So again, but this is also showing you, like just like the Indian called this Maya, which is a world of illusion. And I see a lot of spiritual masters, unfortunately, they're, what I'm saying? Because, an illusion doesn't mean fake. Because when you say fake, you're also saying there's a will shit. What this is, nigga, it's not what it seems. Oh yes, there's something here, but it's not what it seems. That's why the more as you're delving more into yourself, then you are pretty much going from different realities as you're living in this reality. A plain example, my son, 5 years old, this nigga's all about Spider-Man. That's his reality. That's where his consciousness is. That's what he sees around him. That's why we say kids are kids, don't we? You know what I'm saying? This nigga's not living in a different life. He just have a different level of consciousness. So as you grow intellectually or spiritually, then you changing your reality. That's what makes it a fucking illusion. That's what the illusion is. It's not what it seems. So then when you start looking at it that way, that's why you understand you got to go within. That's when, the Kabbalion now is telling you about the law of correspondence. As it is within, so it is without. So they giving you the juice or the jewels for you to master yourself. So ultimately, as a spiritual healer, I help you to become, to have self mastery, to become the holy man, the perfect man. Meaning now you have successfully bring your physical and your spiritual self together. And ironically, when you do that, that's how you transcend the physical. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? If you coming back, nigga, you already know. You know what I'm saying? Come get your meal, baby. You know what I'm saying? Come get your medicine. I got it for you. So yeah, essentially that's pretty much what I do. So welcome back. Welcome back. You know what I'm saying? Shit, let me light my shit up. You know what I'm saying? Um, Now with all of that being said, as part of the routine, guys, you know what I'm saying? As a spiritual healer, spirituality is the tool that I use, right? So I always like to take the time, like if you don't get nothing else, then you understand what spirituality is. Nate. Nate, you're good. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Had to make sure that I hit all sides, baby. I forgot the camera was in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I had to put my mind together. You know what I'm saying? I had to do something here. I said, got to make it easy on me. But anyway, mhm, just make sure I got this motherfucker right. So now, as I was saying, as a spiritual healer, spirituality is the foundation of who I am and what I do. So it's very important. I mean, at this point, but I mean, you can look at it from different angles too, right? It's only fair. You know what I'm saying? That I let you know what the fuck spirituality is, since we're gonna be talking about spirituality, right? Not necessarily we'll be talking about spirituality, but spirituality embodies everything. So when we're talking about spirituality, what we're truly talking about is the story of the spirit. Now, what the fuck are we talking about here? So therefore, you would have to see, okay, what spirit are we talking about here? Well, as you learn more, as you delve more into yourself, you get to know your true nature. The Kabbalion calls it, then you understand that you're a living mind. I love that. We're thinking beings, energetic field, however the fuck you want to call it. Because everything we do, all of our lives, is based on how we see things. It's based on our thinking. And because our thinking, our thoughts play such a big part in our lives, that's why we'll tell niggas you want to change your life or change your thoughts. And you'll see everybody who's succeeding in life, knowledge is really the key. But most importantly, for you to absorb that type of knowledge and for you to even operate based on that, that's what makes you a living mind, i.e., spirit. The more you delve into yourself, and that's where the occult comes in, to help you to understand you. For instance, that's why we talk about the law of manifestation. Well, if I have the power to manifest whatever the fuck I want, and there's a certain way I gotta align myself, n- never mind that for now. But if I have that power in me, well, what the fuck does that say? Who the fuck am I? Now that's the question all of you should have been asking yourself. We somehow got preoccupied by those features of us, but not going into the essence. And that's where the misconception of spirituality comes in. Because now at this point, that's why a lot of people would tell you, for the most part, spirituality is outside of me. Or if they don't say it that way, they'll let you know it's not part of my regular life, dog. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's again of ignorance, because you don't know your true nature. Spirituality has nothing to do with a motherfucking muck worrying, what I'm saying, or wrapping your ass with fucking towel and shit. I'm not taking anything away from that. That is a form of expression. That is also part of it. Or as you choose to activate your spirituality, you do whatever the fuck you want. That's more convenient to you. However, you are spirit. And if you could get that, oh, babe, you are in the game. You winning already. You know what I'm saying? That's that aha. That's that big awakening or the great awakening. So again, when we're talking about spirituality, it's your regular life, dog. You know what I'm saying? This is you walking around smoking your weed, shitting like me smoking the cigar, and as I'm talking about this right now. You know what I'm saying? I know most of your spiritual healers, you know what I'm saying? They, you know what I'm saying? I love it too, though. You know what I'm saying? There's a guy, David Lyon. I love this dude, man. Like, but I'm not gonna say this. It's not like he's not doing the front. He's not putting it in front. Some people would just speak a certain way, because this is positivity. It has to be presented a certain way. Hey, nigga, this is spirituality right here, nigga. Yeah, you judge it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You tell me what it looks like. You feel me? Yeah, again, to each his own. But this is speaking for itself, though. Hmm. This is speaking for itself. That's why another form of religion or spirituality, niggas smoke, niggas drink. You know what I'm saying? You tell me the Rastafari, they're not practicing spirituality? It's not spiritual? So there's a misconception. Now there's a certain type of behavior that is being attached to what spirituality is. Whereas, it has absolutely nothing to do with that. It's out of ignorance, it's based out of a religious perspective. So now the next big misconception about spirituality now, it's niggas telling you it's a religious thing. Y'all niggas wilding out here, man. Now, the good thing about spirituality is that it embodies all of it. Because what this is really talking about, which is your story, your level of consciousness, then now we tell you, you need to attain the Christ consciousness, which is the highest state of consciousness, meaning the highest state of understanding that would allow you to fully have a good grasp on this fucking illusion. That's when now you need to do your shadow work. That's when now a lot of these things are coming through. So as you see the title of this, that's where we're going. But I just want to make sure, I'm saying that you understand what this is though. This is all that. This is all that. So spirituality is politics. Spirituality is you voting, you choose not to vote. It's all of it. It's you fighting, it's niggas fighting against each other. It's just the spirit, the story of the spirit. Now it's being done on this particular level, and then now we're trying to get you to activate your true spirit. Now we're telling you to follow yourself, get to know yourself. Now to get back to what when I mentioned about the occult, that's when now the occult comes in to help you to have a deeper understanding of your nature, your true nature. In other words, to bypass your physical self. That's all that shit is, dog. But you don't bypass it by suppressing your physical self, but you do bypass it by embodying it, by having a better understanding of what it is. When the Kabbalion, I'll give you a perfect example, is telling you we are a living mind, they're not saying fuck your physical body. No, 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 no. That's not what they're saying at all. They're helping you to deeper, to go deeper. See beyond the veil. Okay, this is what this is, but let's look beyond the veil here. That's why they have so many laws. They talk about the mind is all the law of correspondence, everything vibrate, vibration, the law, you know what I'm saying? All that shit. All of it ultimately is to help you to have a better understanding of you. In other words, for you to master yourself. That's what it's all about, dog. So now, as you see in the title, now that we got spiritual, I hope, that helps you to have a broader perspective of what spirituality is, but most importantly, of your life, of who you are. Because ultimately, that's what this shit is all about. Yeah, it's all about you, man. Can you believe that? You know what I'm saying? I know you're trying to pull your ass up. Nah, nigga, it's you. It's you. I know you're trying to be modest. I get it. I'm modest too, but at the end of the day, nigga, you choose to be modest. It's you. No matter how you choose to dissect it, you cannot remove yourself out of it. Even if you choose to be, humble, it is still you, nigga. Is it not? Is it somebody else? What the fuck is being humble? It is still you. Now you may have a deeper understanding, a higher state of consciousness, which is the name of the game, baby. You ain't doing nothing wrong. But again, that's why I always tell people, no matter how objective you're trying to be, it's still gonna be subjective. It's coming out of you. Because I didn't say it. You said it, nigga. Even if you choose to put God first, which is good, because that's nigga, that's what I bank on. That's my foundation. But guess what? It's my choice. It's me. And it's you if you choose to do that too. There's no way around it, dog. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, you are the creator. That's why you have to choose your God wisely, because your God defines your life, consciously or unconsciously. And in layman's terms, let's just say you choose to be a 7 day Adventist. Then, your reality is going to change. Then, instead of going to church on Sunday, I think it's Saturday, whatever the fuck. But I hope you get the point of what I'm trying to say in layman's terms. You know what I'm saying? Like your life is gonna, you know what I'm saying? Or if you're a religious nigga, Sunday, you may do brunch after fucking church, but that morning is church. So your reality, you're creating something. You're living your life based on that. And that's what mythology does. That's the true power of mythology. Whether you believe it or not, it don't matter. It don't matter. That's ultimate mind control at its finest. But that's a whole different country. I was gonna say country. That's a whole. What the fuck? What country has to do with this shit? That's a whole different conversation, though. I guess it had to be said. You feel me? Shit, I said. I said it. But anyway, let's circle back now. Let's get into, let's delve a little bit into the shadow self, because now, listen, man, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna go down. You know what I'm saying? We gonna follow me. Let's go down the rabbit hole, man. Right? So now, when we talking about the shadow self, generally speaking, right? Even that in itself is showing you the complexity of you. So I want you to keep that in mind, because you are more than dick and pussy. Even if you acknowledge it or not. Now, when you acknowledge it, just like I was talking about, then you're shifting your reality. Then now you understand, you got to feed your mind. That's when you became the great gardener or the great farmer. But again, I'm flexing. I'm talking some shit. You know what I'm saying? I love it though. I love it. All of this different expression, because now, and again, that is also what metaphysics is also all about too, just to show you the same rules or principles that applies in nature also applies in your life. You reap what you sow. That's why our ancestors, we follow nature. We know nature's knowledge is wisdom. That's why our connection to nature, we understand we're nature and nature is us. That's why you'll see, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's a whole different conversation. But it's all related though. Had to be said. It had to be said, baby. It had to be said. Yeah. So there's a bunch of shit that's gonna have to be, what I'm saying? That's gonna have to be said. It is what it is. But anyway, so when we're talking about the shadow, right? Again, I also want you to keep in mind, the complexity. And that simply means that, there's more to you. I mean, you're not just flesh and bones. And ultimately, when you get that, that's how you start seeing beyond the veil. You don't crash the veil, you don't say fuck the veil, you see beyond it. Is you fighting with the veil, nigga, you ain't see shit. That's the illusion. That's why true spiritual masters, we're not concerned with earth, because we know the truth, and the truth has set us free, baby. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I feel like a motherfucker. You feel me? Shit, let me do this on this side. Let me get on that side now. You know what I'm saying? Right in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Don't matter. But that understanding comes with you embodying or having a deeper understanding, going, seeing beyond the veil. But anyway, let's get back to the shot. There's so much shit to talk about, man. I gotta stay on track. That's why I need to start writing my shit too. I'm saying this is odd. Stay there. But anyway, now we're talking about the shadow self. Again, it's another aspect of yourself. How can I say this? Your energy do not lie. Who you are is who you are. It's gonna manifest regardless. Now, what am I trying to say about this? When we're saying you have to do your shadow self, or for you to even understand your shadow self, it's when you start to neglect yourself, right? Because pretty much, and I do talk about that, in my Patreon, where I help you to understand the true self, the false self, and your ego. Now, your ego could go hand in hand with your shadow self, but that's a different conversation. I mean, well, talking about the ego is a different conversation, but I'm just gonna give you a quick summary or understanding of the shadow self here. And because as you see in the title, your shadow work is a continual process. It's a constant work. Just like when you're dealing with your pain, it's a constant work. It's not a one time thing and then you're done with your shadow self. No, no, no. It's a continual process. Pretty much now, what you're doing is you're being in harmony with your shadow. It's whereas in the past, when we're talking about the shadow self, what you're truly doing or what you were doing, there was a separation between the self, between yourself, and as a result of that, because the self has to manifest itself no matter what. So when you're being triggered, let's just say, I don't know, I mean, some shit triggered you. Your soul is talking. This is your true self letting you know, hey, man, get my shadow in control. In other words, get me in control. Because your shadow self, just like your ego, goes as far as you go. Your ego's not against you, nigga. There's no such thing as the ego fucking you up. No, 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 no. Yes, at the same time, it could fuck you up because of you, not because of the ego itself. When you see a motherfucker, let's just say a nigga who's insecure, then his ego is gonna start speaking, so to speak. Well, the ego's protecting you, you motherfucker. If I'm secure with myself, I ain't gotta prove you shit. I ain't gotta prove shit to you. My ego behaves a different, totally different. In fact, if I wanted to show something to you, my ego could be like, "Yo, let's we chill, man. Fuck this nigga." And I doubt this nigga. Yo, ego, we good, nigga. Let's ride. Fuck this nigga. But all of that has to do with your level of consciousness and the level of connection that you have with yourself. Because ultimately, to be in good harmony with your shadow self, when you're doing the shadow work, it's you delving into yourself. God damn it, niggas. It's all for you. Keep the change. Rewind it if you have to. This is all for you. Listen, listen, man. I have to confess this wholeheartedly. You know how? I'm falling in love with doing this shit. Seeing the necessity of that shit, seeing, not just the beauty. Oh shit, I can't say not just the beauty. The beauty is everything. You know what I'm saying? In addition to that treasure, then when you look around, you understand it's needed. It's needed, man. So it's my pleasure. You know what I'm saying? I'm confessing, baby. It's my confession. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, it's a pleasure to serve you. What you do with it don't matter, nigga. I'm doing my part. You know what I'm saying? Sucking my own dick, nigga. So now we're living in a society where you know what I'm saying, we've been trained to not to follow us. That's why society, you become average. You follow a crowd. You live your life based on who you should be instead of who you are. And that's pretty much the big narrative here too. Like that's what people are talking about. Follow your dreams. Be yourself, man. Like that's what the whole conversation is. Look around. This is all spiritual. So everybody's doing God's work, just like I like to say. The level could be different, but ultimately, that's why for me, I train myself. That's why, nigga, I say shit that comes from the Bible, Shalom. I don't give a fuck. Why should I anyway? Hotep, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Namaste. What else you want? Akbar, whatever the fuck. Because I see beyond the veil. I know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I'm in love with Jesus, nigga. I'm Jesus, motherfucker. What? You know what I'm saying? I love Muhammad. I love Buddha. They're all my niggas. Oh, this is for the masters now. This is a little, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can't take it too literal now. But anyway, to those, to the great listeners, I salute you. Hmm. If you know, you know. But anyway, and because of that, that's why you worship idols instead of worshiping God, which is your essence. You become people pleasers, and that's what you have a society now that has create a whole matrix that is based on, what I'm saying? And by matrix, they created a whole world based on your false self. Even our society, when we even looking at our culture, nobody talks about love. It's all pain based. You know what I'm saying? Can love pay my bills? That's what niggas are telling you. Well, nigga, do you drink water? Do you take a shower? Can shower pay your bills? Is it not needed? What the fuck that has to do with your bills? You let me know. Or help me to understand it. This is all coming out of the shadow, and that's what makes the shadow very a complicated thing too. Because the shadow hides itself very well through your ego, through many different ways, many different things. But the only way to catch this motherfucker, you gotta become, you gotta follow the self. That's how you pretty much, that's how you doing your shadow self. And your shadow self is gonna be different. I mean, I'm sorry, the shadow work is gonna be different for everybody. Depending on what you feel like, what you had given up on, now that you need to go back to. For instance, let's just say you used to be a people pleaser. Well, for you now to do your shadow work, you got to become more of yourself. Now you're refusing to please other people just to please them. Of course, well, that's what people pleaser is. So you totally remove yourself and you're living for other people. How I'm doing? Do you like me? Am I doing good? Thank you. They say I'm good, and then you turn around. I'm good because they say I'm good. Wow. Well, that's look around. It's not a mystery, baby. There's no mystery like we say in Haiti, nigga. There's no secret in Coca-Cola, nigga. It's water and chemical. Hey, saying, how do you want it? Are you gonna get something that quench your thirst? I have at it. That's part of your experience too. And shit, nigga, enjoy it while you at it. Why the fuck not? You know what I'm saying? But you got to know. I mean, the problem comes when you don't know what it is, though. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm saying all of that to say, doing the shadow work. In fact, before I even say that, I can't recall. Is it Hinduism or some shit? But it's the Brahma niggas, the Shakti, whatever. I mean, I can't recall, what it is now, but they talk about the devoted ones. You know, following yourself, the self work is a continual process. And as you're doing so, guess what? That's how you got to maintain your shadow self. It's an ongoing process. That's why you have to become in harmony with your shadow self. A lot of us, most people, they're shadow boxing, literally shadow boxing instead of being in harmony with your shadow self. And that harmony is going to come from, you acknowledging yourself. And as you do so, you're not, it's like if you're doing your shadow work, it's like now instead of you being triggered, then you understand the alarm. There's an alarm. Now you're like, okay, chill, dog. Chill. That's okay. I understand, but chill. Whereas in the past, when you just were triggered, you have no fucking idea. That's why you would say a lot of these motherfuckers are delusional. Yes, they are. I'm not taking that away from them, but I'm letting you know the underlying shit that's taking place that you're not looking at because this whole game is spiritual. You're a spirit, dog. I mean, I hope to burst your bubble, but it is what it is. Now, when you embrace that, that's how you bypass the physical. You don't refuse the physical, but you embrace your spirituality. And ironically, as you're doing so, then it's all spiritual. Your shadow work is an ongoing process. So understand when the Indians are talking about the actual devoted ones, they're referring to, you being devoted to yourself, to your spirituality, to the non-physical aspect of yourself. That's why people would tell you got to put God in everything. That's why I always tell people the words got to become flesh. You have to be that. You have to be it. That's why this type of knowledge is for the living. and due to the complexity of the shadow too, because since you're not embracing yourself, it pretty much permeates in different aspect of yourself or aspect of your life, and that's what could make the shadow a little sneaky though. But you corner that motherfucker by embracing yourself, and that's the name of the game. The more you embrace yourself, just like if we're talking about the ego, that's why I tell you, you got to be careful from what tree you're eating from. If you're eating from the tree of good and evil, well, you're always going to have a fucking ego problem. But if you're eating from the tree of life, meaning the life knowledge, the knowledge that helps you to, if you understand we all need each other, what kind of ego you going to have, dog? But isn't that the truth too, though? How do you not need anybody? If you think just having your money is everything, nigga, you're bullshit, nigga. I mean, how do you fail to see? I mean, how do you not see this? That's why they say, if it wasn't for poor people, rich people would have to eat their money. And that's why a wise rich man would understand, I need you. Of course, that's why, you know what I'm saying? If you're working at certain companies now, you know what I'm saying, that they need you. They cherish you. Why the fuck not? Who's helping the company? That's why motherfuckers would tell you we made the revenue for this year and we want to thank our employees. They take you out to eat, whatever the fuck. Now, it may not be, as expected or as you would like it to be, but hey, they literally couldn't do it without you. And that's facts. Although they paying you. In fact, if you look at the job market, during the pandemic, that's why certain companies started paying niggas a little bit more. Trying to get people to come back to the work market. Yeah, yeah, pretty much to the workforce. You all need everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? Your money and shit. They just give you, you could purchase more shit. You know what I'm saying? But if you also know how to use it too, depending on who you are, I mean, you could bless a lot of people too. Oh, of course, of course, of course. You know what I'm saying? That's why a true rich man, you know what I'm saying, when you find yourself, I mean, shit, like now money now has a whole different meaning for you. Now you're a true millionaire. You know what I'm saying? As I will be, as I am. That was random. That was just me talking my shit. If I don't, who will? I'm just talking my shit. That's it. You know what I'm saying? You can fast forward if you like. Hey, that part was for me, baby. I'm gonna get mine regardless. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna find a way to sneak that shit in there. Oh, I'm gonna get mine, nigga. One way or another. And I don't negotiate not getting mine. The fuck? Like, feel me? So, essentially, you need to understand doing the shadow self, doing the shadow work, God damn it. Why do I keep saying shadow self? The shadow, well, that's why it is a shadow too to yourself. I mean, the shadow is a reflection of something, right? The more you embrace yourself, that's what the shadow work it's all about. That's why you got to go back. You're forgiving yourself. You acknowledging the shit that you didn't acknowledge about yourself. And that's what healing the wounded child is all about. Is that pain you buried for years. Because y'all niggas got skeletons in your closet, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's you open up the closet like, yo, skeletons, come out. Remember, it's all them motherfuckers. Come here, niggas. Come on, one by one. Come in. Come in. Come, you too, motherfucker. I see you hiding right there. Come on, nigga. Come on. Fuck it. I'ma come get you. And you find that wounded child, you heal this motherfucker, and guess what? It's an ongoing process. You gotta constantly let this nigga know, yo, it's good, dog. It's good until this motherfucker feels safe. Because, depending for how long you've been fucking the nigga up too. Come on, the shadow self, yo, you're gonna put the work in. The one thing about the shadow work, you got to put that work in, and it's a constant work. It's an ongoing process. It doesn't stop, baby. And it's the same thing dealing with your pain. You have to constantly transmute it. That's why the Egyptians, we call ourselves the alchemist because we understand we have to transmute that energy. And as an alchemist, what you do, you got to keep transmuting, baby. And that's when the term devoted ones comes in. This is a full-time job, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell niggas. Some people laugh, but I'm a part-time accountant and a full-time shit nigga. This is a full-time job, man. It's a full-time job. It's an internal full-time job. There's nowhere around it. So the main thing I would like for you to get away from, I mean, to pretty much get out of this, is to understand doing your shadow self is truly embracing yourself. And as you're doing so, that's how you embrace the shadow. And you have to constantly embrace yourself because the shadow itself is very complex and it permeates in so many different areas in your life. You know what I'm saying? When you see a nigga being triggered or because they're being insecure, well, I'm saying, there you go. It's the shadow talking. Oh, motherfucker, I got more money than you. I'm saying, you ain't shit. Mm, okay. Mm, mm. Nigga, you got it. You know what I'm saying? And when you start to understand that too, then you start seeing different people differently too. I know for me, I have, and that's the gift of sight as well. That's why for me, like I know when I'm talking to somebody shadow, nigga, I ain't talking to you at all. You know what I'm saying? Or if I'm talking to you, I know how to talk to you too, depending on how I feel. Depending on how I feel, you know what I'm saying? Depending on how I feel. But being a spiritual healer too, that's why I have to walk both paths. That's why mm, the light is in the dark. That's why you gotta go into darkness to find the light, man. It's being said in so many different ways, fancy ways, but all of what this is ultimately, what this is just saying, is to embrace that non-physical aspect of you. You know what I'm saying? Because we are fed by so many different things. That's why even though you could eat at your house, you're going out to see a fucking concert. We go out to, let's just say, to listen to comedy, entertainment. This is all fitting you. This is all part of you. You know what I'm saying? And the more motherfuckers don't find themselves, you'll see maybe they have to go out more. Maybe they have to do other things more. But what they truly need to do is to go within. And you know the rest. Like they say when you go within, you never go without. You gotta check out my other channel too, man. Shit. Let me plug that shit in real quick. I have to give is to receive. What I do on that channel is that I talk about, proverbs, quotes, those wise saying. And the reason why I have chosen to just do that, because as a spiritual healer too, ultimately what I'm doing is to help you to enhance your consciousness. And what those quote does, pretty much, what they do, it's because of how it's being said, it bypass your intellect. That's why we understand the true power of words. It's not necessarily in the meaning or the objective meaning of the word, but it's how it's being said. That's the power of poetry, right? Well, that's the power of speech. Every great speaker knows that. That's why you gotta have your rhyme too, because it captivates the mind. You know what I'm saying? We are the ultimate mind controls, nigga. Mind controllers, nigga. So it comes down to how is your mind being controlled? Is it setting you free? Or are you being enslaved by it? That's for you to find out. Well, I'm also trying to help you to find that shit out too. That's why I'm here. I'm here to serve you. You know what I'm saying? It's my pleasure, dog. You know what I'm saying? And I meant it from the bottom of my heart, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I love this shit. I will forever love this shit. There's no way I'm gonna stop doing this. I'm gonna do this shit until the wheels fall off, nigga. Uh, until the transition. I found my treasure, man. Find yours, man. Find yours. It cannot be stopped. No, 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 man. But most importantly, this is needed. That's the light of the world. That's the shit that's gonna light you up. Oh, listen, man. I'm taking accountability here. I am at work. I'm clocked in. Clocked in. You let the angels know. You tell them what you see, man. You tell these niggas you see me working. You know what I'm saying? Even though it speaks for itself, you know what I'm saying? One way or another, man. They know. You know what I'm saying? But, it wouldn't hurt. You tell them what you see. You tell them what we're doing over here, man. Hmm? Please do. Tell them. You know what I'm saying? Shit, if not, it's gonna. I'm telling them myself anyway. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I truly don't give a fuck. But I also gives all the fucks too. In fact, I gives all the fucks. That's why I don't give a fuck. It's for you, baby. That's for you. Keep it change, man. You know what I'm saying? Listen. So now to get back to summarize pretty much, shit, man. Every time I start talking, the time is just damn, man, almost a fucking hour. Damn. And I even just shit. Okay, let me see what else I want to talk about. So now when we're talking about, you know what I'm saying, it's an ongoing process. That's what we're talking about. And for you to keep unfolding or to keep enhancing your consciousness, it's a full-time job. That's why this work is for the devoted ones, man. That's why God is in everything that I do. It's gotta be. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always gotta shout out the fucking ancestors too. You feel me? I see why they love me. Because at first I should be like, I mean, damn, man, y'all niggas love me. Like, wow. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not denying that I'm not lovable. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you know what I'm saying? I was just playing hard to get. You know what I mean? I said, why me? I was being modest. You know what I'm saying? But now, shit, I gotta talk my shit. You feel me? I gotta talk my shit. No other way around it, man. So you gotta love it. It's lovable in itself. If you catch it, you catch it. It's not for you. It's not for you. You still didn't do anything wrong. You know, you might need to go a little bit more and then come back to it. It's all good. Listen, it's part of the process. I've been there. You know, been there. So you're definitely not doing anything wrong. I can assure you that. You are where you are. I mean, hey, you know what I'm saying? When the teacher's ready, when the student is ready, teacher will appear, man. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Go to sleep. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Hey, nigga, go to sleep, get you a good ass meal, drink some wine, fuck some bitches, do whatever the fuck you want. When it's time, you're gonna know it's time. Don't worry about it. I know when it was time for me, it was time for me though. You feel me? But anyway, let's get back to the shadow real quick, because I could talk shit all day long. Let me stop. I mean, it's all part of it too. I mean, um, so now going back to the shadow self, it's a shadow self, yeah, and shadow work, and you grasping yourself. They all come together. It's an ongoing process, just like you dealing with your ego. There's nothing, you know what I'm saying? When you become, so to speak, spiritual, and I understand the whole idea, because you know what I'm saying. I definitely get it. I get it, especially in the society that we're living in. So when you telling niggas, you know what I'm saying, they have to suppress their ego or you're so egotistical, I get it. I know what you're trying to say. However, you know, you just need to to go a little bit deeper to understand it's not truly the ego that you're talking about here. What you're truly referring to is the type of knowledge that you've been feeding yourself. Everybody's not naturally greedy, man. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? Look at the society that you're living in. We've been trained to be greedy. You gotta get the bag, baby. The more you do, hey, listen, man, you gotta put the work in, don't you? Isn't that what we're being fed? Come on now, niggas. Well, if that's the type of knowledge you're going by, how can you not have a fucking ego? Just like I always use that fucking example, right? Shout out to Extentacion. You know, I talk about the niggas that killed him, right? Now you may say it's stupid, but these niggas, because they're living in a world where they're seeking validation, the more animalistic you are, you know what I'm saying, the more praise you get. So niggas are taking pictures, you know what I'm saying? Niggas are having, you know what I'm saying? Because that's how I am being recognized. And that's what I go by. So when niggas do dumb shit, of course they're gonna floss that shit. It's stupid too, but let's go a little bit deeper here. It's not just stupidity that got them to do it. I mean, yes, I mean, I'm not gonna I mean, listen, anytime you reject God, your true self, you automatically being stupid. That's why you have to understand the science of ignorance. Check out my other fucking recordings. I talk about the science of ignorance. That's why you have to embrace the science of ignorance too. And that's why if you want to, let's just say, a light worker, you have to walk both paths. Someone who's toxic or is living or is in like I always tell you guys, when you're toxic, you don't know that you're toxic. It's only after you grow or you get to see things a little bit better Only then can you be like, shit, yo, I used to be toxic. And that's why you have testimonies, man. That's why for me personally, I know when a nigga you don't have nothing to testify on, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Just like they said, okay, let me rephrase all of that. If you can't tell me how stupid you used to be, nigga, you still stupid. It is what it is. Only when you bypass that, and and that's the power of testifying too. Confession. But that's a whole different conversation too. You can only do it after you get to see things a little bit better. You're like, oh, I was doing that. Nigga, I got a lot of testimonies, dog. I got a lot of story to tell. You know what I'm saying? A life without story, I mean, you're not living. There's no growth. In other words, you have no death because your growth is your death. You got to go through deaths for you to grow, baby. There's no way around it. And this is why ultimately this is all spirituality. This is your spirituality is your regular life. Now, what you're doing with the regular life is having a higher state of consciousness. Now you are transcending realities. And now I'm hoping, I'm holding the mirror of wisdom, hoping you get, to a level where you get to embrace, the Christ consciousness, a higher state of consciousness. Then that's when you become a knowledgeable man. So you got to understand when you become knowledgeable, it doesn't mean you know everything, but it does mean you understand how most things work. That's what a wise man is. Oh, I gotta let that marinate for you motherfuckers. That's a funk flex bomb on that shit. You know what I'm saying? You rewind that selector, man. That was a bomb right there. It's blowing up. You know what I'm saying? I gotta let it do what it does. So again, embracing your true self is embracing your shadow self because they go hand in hand. When you don't embrace yourself, then it's gonna be triggered. It's almost like how they tell you, like and shit. How can I say this? Depending on what you eat, it's going to reflect on your fucking body. That's why when you have those medicine healers, they understand that. They tell you, your energy is reflecting certain part of yourself. Let's just say if you're having shit, I can't really think of anything, but essentially what these niggas will tell you, depending on where you feel your pain or where your pain is, there's a spiritual aspect of that. So they help you to heal your energy, and then they telling you by healing that part of yourself, then they're telling you, it's all energy. Then they give you herbs that matches with that energy. That's what the uh, medicinal healing is it's all about. And I get it, but I'm a spiritual healer though. Shout out to Dr. Lila Africa, man. And thank you too, sir. You know what I mean? And that's what those medical, I don't know if it's that the root healers does, or the root doctors, whatever the power the fuck you want to call it, because they understand now it's all energy, meaning even your shadow self. In other words, like I was saying, you are more than just your body. You are your body and more. They don't say fuck the body for them to heal you, but they use that pain to help you to identify the energy depending on where your pain is or whatever the fuck, to help you, then you start working on that. That's the whole thing of you doing your chakra work too. But that's a whole different conversation. Because the chakras is just it's more than just your fucking heart. You know what I'm saying? In fact, if you cut your body open, you're not gonna see no fucking chakra, nigga. But they're using those organs based on what they represent, what they do, and then we associate that with a certain energy. But it also goes beyond that because your chakra work is also your state of mind as well. So it's you want to call it a parallel universe. It's a multi-universe. You call it whatever you like. And that's why knowledge too is represented by a tree. Because there's so many different branches, there's so many different things that permeates from the seed. So when you become knowledgeable, that's why I tell people too, why the fuck you worry about relationship advice? Heal yourself. Because a relationship is simply an aspect of you. You're not gonna be have a good relationship, you're a fucking asshole. It's not gonna work. Just to be a great listener or a good listener, which is a big part of a fucking relationship, well, you got to work on you. And it takes more than just listening to somebody. You got to follow their body language too. Because sometimes people could be saying one thing, their body language is saying something else. Then you got to ask the right question. There's a whole bunch. Listen, just like I tell niggas, to think critically, you got to become critical. God damn it, niggas. And if you can grasp this, then that's when you understand you are more, you are your body and more. That's when you bypass the body automatically. And ironically, that's when you in harmony with yourself, with your body too. Because living a healthy life, because when you're being triggered, that's when you don't even know what the pain is. Because you buried that shit for so long, you're just being triggered. That's why most people would say you're being in denial. But I know better. I mean, you are being that, but I understand why you're being fucking in denial. And that's what we're dealing with. You're dealing with people with shadow self. You're dealing with spirit all around you. When people are becoming haters, those are the fucking haters. Your haters, those are the people who have not acknowledged they're hating on you for something that they can do and they choose not to do it. Like, like you got two dicks. That's how you're doing it. But because they're not taking accountability, truly looking at who the fuck they are or their shadow selves, they keep fucking their life up. Now, when you're doing something positive, now they want to fuck you up. Oh, that's what we're dealing. This is a spiritual. Everything is spiritual, nigga. And that's what you're gonna be dealing with as you're going through your spiritual journey. Your mom, your dad, all of that shit. Even when you shit, even being in a fucking relationship, you're dealing with that person's shadow self too. Do you see the complexity in it? Do you see how it's more than what it looks like? It's more than what it appears. And that's the world that we're living in. I'm saying you just got to become more, baby. Just got to do more. And not more in the sense of, but quality and more. That's you embracing the non physical aspect of you, the divine part of you. And in the occult, that's what we also teach you. That's why we say, yo, nigga, you want to love somebody? Love yourself. You cannot love somebody else if you don't love yourself. And most people, let's just say, who do not acknowledge the self, then they're not gonna love you. It's a given. That's why you have to understand the rules of the game. Like someone who don't give a fuck about themselves, they're not gonna give a fuck about you. And those are pretty much the codes, the spiritual laws, if you want to call it the shortcut that you need to grasp once you start grasping them. Because when you, okay, let us just say, when you start loving yourself, what you're truly doing is that you're embracing those non-physical aspect of yourself, or you acknowledging the divinity in you. That's why you wouldn't do to somebody else what you wouldn't do to yourself. That's when now, you seeking for, that divine part of that other person, the true self, their true self. You're seeking to love them for who they are because you find who the fuck you are. Do you see what I'm saying? Stop going for relationship advice, man. You know what I'm saying? Those are just bandages. There's a shortcut, like it's not gonna work. You're constantly gonna have to go to fucking uh a shrink or counsel, you know what I'm saying? You're always gonna have to go see a counselor then. The goal is for you to become your own counselor, nigga. And for you to become that, you gotta be devoted to the self. Do you see the connection? Listen, man, there's no secret in Coca-Cola, nigga. Chemical and water, nigga. Sugar and water. I'm saying? Now we want to add some ice to it. It's okay. You quench your thirst, huh? Keep quenching your thirst, baby. You know what I'm saying? That's why even Jesus would tell you, how can I not quote that? You know what I'm saying? Like you seeking for water, then you're gonna be thirsty again. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving you something else here, man. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I love Jesus. You know what I'm saying? But for you, unfortunately, the way most people say that they love Jesus, they are enslaving themselves instead of liberating themselves. But anyway, we're gonna leave it here. You know what I'm saying? L'esprit here is nothing but love and shit. There's nothing else. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna leave it here. To give is to receive. Check that out. So what we're doing on that channel, just like I was saying earlier, you know what I'm saying? We literally, speaking the word of God, by using those proverbs. Again, it's how they are being said that captivate the mind. And then once they captivate your mind, and now it's a fully loaded statement because there's a bunch of fucking wisdom. And that's what you also do. In other words, it's also a form of meditation because what you're truly doing in meditation is enhancing, you're looking for that aha moment. And that's what consciousness is. That's why your intellect cannot do it by itself. That's also another reason when you have the intellect, then you bring it, you become in alignment with your emotions too. It allows you to expand your consciousness. That's what Jesus did when they brought that prostitute to her. They're saying, "Yo, should we stone her?" Nigga now uses well, who? Okay, I mean, yeah, I mean, the first whoever, whichever one of you is perfect, throw the fucking first stone. Right. That was one of my favorite lines, nigga. I knew Jesus was the shit. When I was like, Jesus, you the shit, nigga. Muhammad, you the shit, nigga. Buddha, you the shit, nigga. Who else? You know what I'm saying? Tahuti. Oh my God. You're the motherfucking shit, nigga. The three fucking initiates. Y'all the motherfucking shit too, niggas. This is for the grown ups, man. You feel me? This is for the grown ups. But anyway, we're gonna leave it here. It's nothing but love. I sent. Bra. Mali. You heard me?